You are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because your mind never stops fighting. Even in silence, even in bed, even when nothing is happening. Something inside you keeps running. Thinking, calculating, worrying, and slowly, without realizing it, you begin calling this exhaustion by the wrong name. Maybe I'm just lazy, but what if laziness is the biggest lie you've ever believed about yourself? What if the real problem is something darker, something modern society quietly normalizes, mental overload? Because here is the terrifying part. A mentally overloaded person rarely looks broken. They still show up to work, still answer messages, still smile, still function. But internally, something is collapsing, and most people never notice it until life begins to feel strangely heavy. Simple tasks become exhausting. You stare at your phone for hours. You delay important work. You feel guilty for resting, yet too exhausted to move. And the worst part, you begin blaming yourself. But maybe for once you shouldn't. Because the human brain was never built for this kind of world. Thousands of years ago, survival meant avoiding predators, finding food, staying alive. Now, your brain wakes up to deadlines, breaking news, bills, emails, notifications, political chaos, economic fear, comparison, expectation, and an endless stream of people online pretending they have everything figured out. Every day, your mind absorbs more information than previous generations consumed in weeks. Think about that. You call yourself weak, while surviving mental conditions humans were never designed to handle. No wonder so many people feel frozen. No wonder motivation feels impossible. This is not laziness. This is overload. And overload does something dangerous. It tricks the brain into shutting down. Psychologists call it cognitive fatigue, but you don't need the scientific term to understand it. You felt it. You sit down to do one simple thing. Answer an email, start a project, clean your room, go to the gym, and suddenly, your mind feels heavy. You scroll instead. You avoid. You procrastinate. Then guilt arrives. And guilt whispers the same cruel sentence. You're wasting your life. But here's the question almost nobody asks. What if procrastination is not rebellion? What if it is protection? Because overwhelmed minds don't always fight. Sometimes, they freeze. Like a computer with too many tabs open. Eventually, the system slows down. Not because it is broken, because it is overloaded. And modern America rewards overload. Busy equals valuable. Exhausted equals ambitious. Rest becomes guilt. Stillness becomes weakness. People wear burnout like a badge of honor. But deep down, many are quietly collapsing. Working jobs they hate. Living through silent anxiety. Chasing success while secretly feeling emotionally empty. And this is where philosophy becomes strangely personal. The Stoics believed suffering increases when we try to carry too much. Too many imagined futures. Too many fears. Too many things outside our control. Meanwhile, philosophers like Arthur Schopenhauer believed modern people often become trapped inside endless wanting. More money, more success, more validation. Never enough, always chasing. And maybe that is why so many people feel exhausted before the day even starts. Not because life defeated them, but because their minds never get permission to rest. Think about your own life. When was the last time you sat in silence without reaching for distraction? No music, no scrolling, no noise, just you. Because something frightening happens in silence. You finally hear what your mind has been trying to say. Maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you're emotionally drained. Maybe you're mentally overcrowded. Maybe your nervous system has been screaming for relief while you've been punishing yourself for struggling. And here is the truth nobody says enough. You cannot heal an exhausted mind through shame. You cannot bully yourself into peace. You cannot hate yourself into becoming disciplined. Sometimes what looks like laziness is grief. Burnout, fear, mental exhaustion, invisible battles nobody else can see. So before you judge yourself again, pause and ask a different question. Not, what's wrong with me? But, what has my mind been carrying for too long? Because that question changes everything. And maybe, just maybe, the most dangerous myth of modern life is convincing overwhelmed people that they are failures. You are not lazy. You may simply be carrying more than anyone realizes, including yourself. If this made something click inside your mind, stay close, there are deeper truths about human nature we rarely notice, until they quietly begin changing the way we see.